I hope first home game of the season, Wednesday against Donny. Everybody's looking forward to it. Back in Hillsborough. Decent start away against Charlton. 0-0, clean sheet. Don't think there'll be any changes to back five. I think, obviously keeper's place is assured. Hutchinson and Iowa are showing promising signs of a partnership. Hunt, obviously, we know what he's all about on right-hand side of defence. I won't be surprised if he's probably one of the best fullbacks in division. Don't think he'll swap Palmer from left back. There's talk about Brown, but if you've kept 2 clean sheets, you don't change your back four. It's simple as that. And I know people will talk about the balance of having a left footer, and there's the option of Brown, but I think he'll keep Palmer. Midfield, obviously we've got George Byers who's come into the squad, but again, I don't think there'll be any changes. Bannon's going to play, obviously captain, thought he was terrific last week. And Adeniran, I'm really impressed with that lad. Powerful runs. Many of them cut out by Charlton, by the way, because there was some serious fouling going on in that game. Professional fouls, as they call them now, don't they? But really like the look of him. I think he's the player I'm most excited about as a signing, for the fact that he's ours. We haven't borrowed him. He's not going back in January, or he's not going back next summer. He's ours. 22 years old, and he belongs to us. That's the sort of signing that you've been wanting club to make for sort of 2 or 3 years. So really interested to see how his season develops. Looking forward to seeing him. Up front, obviously Patterson can't play. He's had the bang on the head at Charlton, concussion, and I think the rule is 19 days or some. Yeah, I seem to remember it's a random figure like that, 19 days. So he can't play, so there's a place of grab up front. Lee Gregory, who were injured last season, had a bad injury. He's been out, not been able to train, so I wouldn't have thought he would play, but played for under-23s in week against Man United, scored a couple of goals and apparently looked lively by all accounts, so he's in the reckoning. He'll be match day squad. There's Canberra. He came on for Patterson, and I thought he actually made some good moves last week against Charlotte, some good movement. Caught offside a few times, but it's caught offside because he was moving. Players who don't move and stand with their hands on the hips, they don't get caught offside, do they? Because they're not doing it. So we can just keep an eye on his line, and maybe if the lads can find him a bit quicker, because obviously he's coming from, he's Albanian, isn't he? But he's been playing in Switzerland. I can't keep up, but I know he flew into the country and then he had to go into quarantine, so he'd been staying in an hotel or whatever. Didn't really know any lads, not really had a chance to train, so I'm sure Dad and Mo want to thrust him in if Patterson hadn't got injured, but he came in and I thought, there's signs there, he's a decent unit. So I think he'll probably start up front at centre forward. Wide areas, Shadipo's still out injured. Brown's been playing there, obviously he's more naturally a full-back. So I think there's a chance Marvin Johnson might come in. Looked quite lively as a sub the other week at Charlton when he came on, put a couple of decent crosses in. So I think he's probably pushing for a start. And then there's Corbyn, who's the Wolves lad, who's apparently very lively. He's had time to settle in, so perhaps he'll have a shot on the right wing. So I think they'll stick with that 4-3-3. And I can't wait to see him in action. Can't wait to see what they can do. It does take longer to gel up front, so it might not click even today, but I think there's promising signs there. There's a team unit and the shape and the way that Dad and Mo's been working with him. I think that's a system he's going to stick with. And if it clicks and 1 or 2 players get an head of steam up, I think we'll cause teams problems. So I'm looking forward to the game. Like I said, I think it'll be the same back five. Can't see any changes there. And I generally think it's going to be a Wednesday win because the fans are back in. It's going to be, fans on cop and stands. And Darren Moore has been very positive. The owner, I know he's not been in the country, but he's going to have some praise for allowing Moore to do his job. He's clearly been involved in all the player recruitment. They're clearly the players that he's earmarked, and we've gone out and got them. 13 players, incredible. You know, like a fortnight ago, you're looking at this season and it's like, oh, what, we've got 9-10 professionals on the books, and you're like, Jesus. So, very exciting. Can't wait to see what they can do. Don't know much about Donny. I've been having a look. They played a cup game and a league game. Played 2 different systems. There's talk tomorrow that they might play 2 up front with Omar Bogle and a lad, is it Kuka or Kucha? Bostock's back in for them, who Darren Moore brought in for Donny. And I think there's a chance they might try and match us up in midfield, because I think Adeniran, Bannon and Wing is a central midfield that'll cause problems and headaches for most teams in this division, so I won't be surprised at all if they match us up there, or maybe even play a 3-5-2 or something just to compete in middle and maybe keep 2 up front. So interesting tactical battle. Obviously it's a big game, Darren Moore's old club. They'll be desperate for what they'll see as revenge. I mean, it's just part and parcel of football, isn't it? We've lost managers in the past. We've had, but Bruce is a classic example. Manager came in and got poached by a bigger club. That's, you know, that's what it is in football. But they'll be desperate to get one over on him and sort of prove a point that, oh, you shouldn't have left and what have you. But already I think this signs there that he's doing a job at Wednesday, and it's not a surface job. It's not a tarting up job. He's putting foundations in for the long-term stability of Wednesday. And hopefully, if we get a win today, we've got a good point away from home. It's that old saying, I've said it last week, say it again. If you can win your home games and nick points away, you've got a chance. And a good 0-0 last week against a team who I do think will be, you know, sort of top 6 or 7 end of season. And if we can start winning these home games, starting, you know, against Donny with the first one, get 3 points, all positive. There's just been so much good news and such a good vibe coming out of Hillsborough these last couple of weeks. Everybody that I've spoke to is absolutely itching to get back in and see him playing, and get behind him. And I think they will get behind him, because in Darren Moore they've got a manager who appeals to supporters, not just with the things he says, because it's easy to give lip service, you know, but he ain't been arse licking. He ain't been, oh yeah, this club, these fans, blah blah blah. It's easy to get behind him because he's doing things in the right way. He's putting foundations in. He's bringing players in of a better age, shall we say, from the right age group. Players who, the permanent signings are ones that will improve, and the sort of players who, if they do move on, if they have a good season, if we don't go up, are the sort of players that will be moved on for profit. And his use in the loan market, they're all players where people have said, oh yeah, I've heard of him. Oh, he'll be good for us. A young, fast player or whatever, or like Wing, a player with an eye for goals from midfield and with that drive and attacking purpose. So, like I said, it's easy to get behind Darren Moore because of the way he's conducted himself, the way he's done his business for Wednesday, and the fact that he's somebody who's clearly got a plan. Because, you know, in football, I do think there's a lot of people who just do things off the cuff still and just sort of play it by ear and whatever, I'm getting paid, that sort of. But Darren Moore just seemed to be a man with a plan, and so far, like I said, the chairman probably deserves some credit. He's been allowed to implement that plan, and I hope that continues when the chairman comes home, sort of thing. But really looking forward to the game. Really looking forward to it. I think everybody is. I think they'll get behind the team. Might have to be patient because, you know, things don't happen straight away, especially in an attacking sense. People have got to build up little partnerships and what have you, that all over the pitch, but especially up front in them attacking areas. And you've got to get used to people's runs. Your centre forward's got, your centre forward's got to know that if a winger's going to come back inside, he's got to delay his run. If he goes a certain way, he's going to put a first timer in. They're little things that will come, and they'll get used to the way each other plays, because not all wingers are the same. But once they get that little bit of understanding, those players that he has brought in, I think the potential is there for us to score goals and win games. I really do. So really looking forward to it, excited, and I think it can be a really, really good season for Wednesday, and hopefully a platform to build on, to go where we want to be, which is something that fans have been crying out for years now. We had to go at the chucking money at it, which no one complained at the time, because we'd hardly spent any money in 20 odd years with that huge debt round our neck. But there's always a chance that route will backfire, and it backfired spectacularly for us. But now got a manager in place, and like I said, seems to be someone who's planning ahead, got a structure in place, has got a system that he wants to play, has got a transfer policy in place where he's bringing in players to fit that system, rather than just signing players willy-nilly and then trying to find a system that suits them all, or suits most of them, which is probably what the last 3 or 4 managers have had to do. So all in all, very positive. And if we can finish, or start this weekend rather, with a good result, I think that'll just springboard everybody's positivity onto the next level. And it builds then. It builds. If you start winning, get the fans on side, the fans start backing the team when they go through those quiet spells and lulls, and it progresses forward like that. And a lot of managers talk about, we've all got to be in it together, the players, the people behind the scenes at the club, the fans, we've all got... Anybody can say it, but to put something in place where it happens and one thing feeds the other, that's the real ideal, and that's what you're after. And I do think we've got the managers to do that, and I know we've certainly got the support to do it. If they see a team on the park doing the right things in the right way, and a manager with a plan doing things the right way, and with a mentality and an attitude towards a job that they can get behind, they will. These fans will back a manager if they think he knows what he's doing. And I think Dadamore does know what he's doing, and I think Wednesday fans know that, and I think they will show that. And like I said, it's a momentum thing then. It feeds itself. Positive fans, positive players, positive performance, and it all rubs off onto each other, I can't wait. I'm actually quite confident. I think it'll be a tight game, but Wednesday will keep a clean sheet. I don't really have any doubts about that. And if we can get 1 goal, I think we could get 2. No problem. Positivity. And it doesn't matter how the goal comes either, We all want to see good football. We want to see nice goals and whatever. I love diving headers, but if it's a ricochet off somebody's arse, I'll take that. Because once it goes in off somebody's arse, it don't matter. They'll go on a little run of scoring goals. So, come on Wednesday. Let's start as we mean to go on.